So I think about HIV randomly and not. Whenever I happen to meet somebody, whenever I talk to somebody, or Grindr, Grindr just became part of us daily. Do you feel that way?
What's Grindr?
Honestly, when I'm dating someone, I don't mind what the status they have. And also, like, I'm on PrEP, so it doesn't make me think about it much.
Before, it wasn't like that. So people were so scared about to date someone who is HIV positive. So I think a lot of people need that understanding, learning more about the virus to know that HIV is just like something that you cannot be afraid of.
You know, HIV in 2022 is very different than it was even when I was in medical school, even 10, 15 years ago. And so with new tools like PrEP, with U equals U, really we know that it's very easily treatable, easily controllable, and lots of ways to deal with HIV preventions. I think there's a lot of stigma even within the LGBT community around HIV. Your whole idea of your sexuality is tied in with this fear of disease that, really people who aren't within the community don't have that same connection to it.
I'd been trying to get on PrEP for 2 years, almost 3 years, and I kept being met with, we don't do PrEP, we do condoms. I was getting this stigma around HIV and around PrEP that like, oh, the medical world doesn't want to like focus on that.
So a lot of times I think healthcare providers assume that, number one, they may assume that their patients are straight. No physician is wanting to be a homophobe. No physician is wanting to turn their patient off of talking to them. But I think they're also nervous. Just try and encourage them to be relaxed, to be calm, to talk to somebody like you would want to be talked to.
A lot of people I know, like, they prefer to have a family doctor who doesn't speak their language because they are so afraid to be judged, afraid of stigma, afraid that the doctor might have connections back home. I did go to like a walk-in clinic, and there was a doctor from my background who speaks my language. I disclosed I'm gay, and I had a problem with my ex, and we broke up. He's like, you need to pray to God. That's why things are happening to you. Like, living the homosexual life is a sin. This made me even worse, I didn't come to hear your advice. I just came here to get the medication. Please give me a prescription, and thank you.
I can relate to that experience as well as an African woman. When I was in hospital the other time, they just disclosed to everybody she's HIV positive. I didn't like that. So I addressed it right there and said, no, I didn't like the way you did, because I had my people here who doesn't even know I'm here because of HIV.
It's really unacceptable, unethical, unprofessional, because they should be more aware about privacy and confidentiality. So that's totally not okay. I feel like living with HIV in Canada is not a big deal because, first, healthcare is free, so anyone can get access and see a doctor. But let's say back home, it's a privilege just to go to a doctor because, first, not everyone has enough money to spend on medical examinations. Even sometimes buying the medication can be difficult, or in some instances, the medication doesn't even exist.
I agree with you that healthcare in Canada is accessible. The healthcare in Canada is excellent for people living with HIV.
So I guess we've been asked to reach into this box and answer some questions. So I will reach in. So the question here is, do you have a good relationship with your doctor?
No.
Why?
I don't, because my doctor is quite young. I wanted to know my HIV status. I must have been 19. So I just went to his office, I made an appointment, and I lied, and I said I had an orgy. And he gave me a lecture, and why would you do that? That's not wise. And so I don't have a good relationship with him, no. I would just go to the clinic.
So I think a lot of what happens is that doctors are uncomfortable. They don't know how to deal with it. And it's unfortunate you had that experience where you felt judged. I'm not here to tell you, how your behavior should be, right? If you want to go to an orgy, go to an orgy. But what I can do is I can help you make sure that you're protected from HIV. I can do all the right STI tests that we need to do after you've had your orgy. So, every orifice that needs a swab, we'll get a swab in there. And then we can treat you for whatever comes up. So what could your doctor do to make it easier for you to talk to them about sex?
Perhaps doctors or mine, if he's watching this, could be a bit softer when topics like this come,
Yeah.
on the table, and just normalize it, not just make me feel bad or guilty about it.
And I think that's a really important point, right? Is that when someone's coming, to a clinic or to talk to their doctor, that you should really try and approach it from that place of not judging. Get over it so that when you're actually dealing with a patient in front of you, you can help and you're not making them feel uncomfortable and not putting them in the position that you're in now where you feel like you can't have that discussion with your physician.
Do you ask partners if they are HIV positive?
Not in the beginning, because I'm on PrEP. I would really appreciate if the person is honest and authentic with me.
Actually, I had an experience. So I met this guy. So I said, so are you living with HIV? That's what he just said. I said, yes, because I didn't have a choice. He just went quiet for 2 weeks. He was doing his research. And after 2 weeks, he came back again. He liked me again.
So what would be your message to people who are living with HIV and are still afraid to deal with it?
HIV right now is no longer the same as before. HIV is manageable as long as you are taking your medication and also you are seeing your maybe family doctor. Connect with your community organization where you can access information and also meet other people living with HIV and you learn from their experience as well.
Beautiful.
Thank you for sharing.